think we're ready to get started here. I hope everyone enjoyed their nice long break. I know I did. I got to sit for a little bit, put my feet up, so I'm feeling refreshed and I'm ready for the rest of the afternoon. So without further ado, I'm very happy to welcome my colleagues Blair Hall and Jim Ransier to the stage.
Well, hello everybody. I'm so thankful to have all of you here. I talked to so many of you, but it's nice to actually put a face to the voices. I am Blair Hall, Senior Director of Client Delivery.
I am Jim Ransier, Senior Manager Client Delivery. I work with Blair and I focus on onboarding our enterprise clients. So, you'll notice that this particular session was the top 10 tips for a portal, but we like to use the word secrets because I think secrets sound more intriguing. Don't you think, Blair?
I do.
All right. So Blair, have you ever had a time where someone maybe told you a really juicy secret and maybe you weren't supposed to tell anyone?
I have.
And then did you tell anyone maybe after that?
Never.
That's what I thought. So, that's just human. That's what we do. And these 10 secrets that we're going to share with you today are ones that we want you to share with anyone and everyone that you know about the portal. You know, the portal has mystery. It has suspense. It has wonder. It is
the portal. Seriously though, today we know that a lot of you are in our portal, but we want to give you some tips and some secrets, if you will, on how to engage in the portal. Some things you might not necessarily know about yet, but we hope that you can learn these things and take them back to your team, encourage them to get into the portal. This might help them with the day-to-day processes and help make things a little bit easier for them. And then we have time for questions at the end.
So I'm going to go ahead and get started with secret number 1, which is search. I don't know if you know this, but you can search by literally anything in the portal. You can do search by order number, PO number, address, name, tracking number, SKU, partial search. You can do wildcard searches. And we found that just from talking to all of our customers and vendors, there's a lot of folks that don't realize that our search is as robust as it is. So we highly encourage people to use search. So in this example, you can see we did an address search, which then, if you go one step further, something that our folks don't always understand is that our search results have gone into document types. So we have acknowledgments, we have returns, we have invoices, shipments, and in that little red box there, you can see that's how we call out the document types. And then we also have statuses. So everything from complete, ready to ship, canceled, failed. Most of those are pretty self-explanatory. We also have other statuses not listed here, but for failed, we're going to talk about in a little bit, Blair, about some of the reasons that an order or a document might go into a failed status.
Thanks, Jim. So now Jim has talked about the fact that we have different statuses, that we have different documents that we have within the portal, but did you know that you can filter within the portal? So those 3 little lines that you see boxed in there, that's our filtering, where you can actually go in if you wanted to filter by orders that are in a ready to ship status. You can filter not only by the document type, but also by the status. So filtering by anything equal to a ready to ship status, that will show you all of the orders that are in that status waiting to be fulfilled. So we haven't received tracking information for them yet. So it's a really good tool to see what you have open. So if you need to contact your suppliers or your vendors to see why it might still be open, you're able to do that. And one way that you can do that is you can actually pull an export of the open orders that you have. So if you do a filter by orders ready to ship, you can actually select to export them just the high level order details, or you can actually select it with items. And the way you can filter that out as well is if you select particular orders within the little check boxes, or you can do the whole page by checking that little box within the blue there. And this is also a way to do bulk download for packing slips. So instead of having to go individually into each order and downloading the packing slips, you can actually choose the specific orders that you want, go down to selected packing slips, and you can download the few orders that you choose. And you can reset your filters at any time as well to go back to the beginning. So we have the orders, you have the list of orders. Now you want to take a look at the detail that's surrounding the order. So what we do is within the actual order details page, we give you information such as bill to address, shipping address, the items that were ordered, quantity, cost. All of that is available within the details page. And then you can see at the very bottom, we have sectioned out different events, whether the document's been acknowledged, and we do this related documents. So if the document that you're looking at has other documents, so if you're looking at an order, you want to see the acknowledgement tied to it, you want to see the shipment information tied to it, this related documents section will allow you to go right directly into that secondary document that you're looking for and see that information. As Jim mentioned, we also, sometimes there's an issue. We've all been there. So we'll get some fail documents, and you're looking at the failed document and you're saying, why did it fail? I don't understand. I just want to see why my document didn't get into the system and it failed. So we have this events section here, which actually gives you the reasoning, and we've really are able to give specific examples as to why it failed. So that way you can either go back on your side and make an update, or you can talk to the vendor and let them know that something needs to be changed and the document needs to be resent. So we now are able to give you that visibility into why something failed. All right, so it is no secret that you can't have orders unless you have inventory. So we've come up with a robust inventory page that our customers can go in and use. You're able to upload inventory, download inventory information. We've recently implemented a new allocation. So if you had 10 retailers, let's say, and you wanted to use the same inventory quantities, you could upload the same file, but you can allocate 10% to one retailer, 10% to the other retailer, 5% to the next. You upload that inventory, and what Logicbroker will do is for the inventory 846 file that we send back to the retailers, we can say, okay, of this inventory quantity, we're only going to send 20% to this retailer, 10% to the next. You can change that allocation at any point. The only thing that we would need you to do is actually upload a new inventory feed to put in those adjustments of the allocation. We also allow inventory search. So if you have a SKU and you want to see what the description tied to it, you want to see the quantity, we actually indicate also the last status update. So you can do a search by merchant SKU, supplier SKU, UPC, and it will give you the breakdown. And we've also implemented the edit and delete capability right within that inventory search. So in the past, you've had to download a new file in order to strip out the SKUs and then upload a new file. Now you can simply delete it, or if you keyed in something incorrectly, you can go in and edit it right from the page.
So rumor has it my mic was not working, so I will be standing right here for the duration.
It suits you.
Thanks. So moving on to secret number 6, the advanced export. So advanced export is essentially the easiest way for you to download your data kind of in a raw data export. And you can do that with Excel, you can do it in CSV, kind of whatever format you typically work with. What makes our advanced export particularly useful is you have control over the headers and the data that's on the export. So if you wanted to do a full export of all fields, you certainly could, but let's just say you wanted to export order number, shipping method, product, and quantity, you could do that, and you would have control over the headers. So if you wanted to call it, instead of purchase order number, you wanted to call it order number, you would have control, of course, over those headers. And you can save those as profiles. So for example, in this case, CSV order export is a profile that can be saved for you to use on at a future date. And you can also share that with other people. So you'll notice there's an export feature there as well where you can share your report settings with other users. So that's advanced export.
Yep, and this is a good way, a good tool that if you don't necessarily have a connection between your system and Logicbroker, you can export, set up the template as you need to import it into your end system, so you don't have to do any manipulation.
Exactly. And then we also have a reporting feature. We have quite a few pre-packaged reports here. You can see those in the tiles there in the first screenshot. Probably the ones that are most relevant and the most used are failed orders and overdue orders. You have the ability to export the data from these tiles, so we kind of do some pre-filtering for you. But additionally, you can create additional change, or you can change how those reports filter. So for example, overdue orders currently looks at any order that hasn't shipped in 24 hours. You could say I only want to see overdue orders that have been there for a week. And you have the ability to download it. And then kind of an additional feature of that is going back to advanced export. If you remember where it says CSV order export there at the top, you can use that format. So let's just say you only wanted, again, to see order number, item, quantity, and shipping method. That was where you would be able to see that, and you could export it with your headers the way you'd like to see the data. So you have control over those prepackaged reports as well. And then we also have a relatively new feature called Message Center. So I think this is kind of a secret, a real secret,
it's a real
secret, not a fake one, where you can communicate with your retailer or you can communicate with your suppliers. You can do it one-on-one. You can do it in bulk. So in this example, this particular supplier wants to let everybody know they're going to be closed for certain holidays. You can communicate that in bulk, and you can also require the recipients to acknowledge that they've read it. So if you're a retailer and you have an important message that you want all of your vendors or suppliers to read and acknowledge that they've read, you can use the Message Center, and it would document that information. And it also, just any user in the organization has visibility. So rather than using email and making sure people are copied, your users could look at each individual user can look at this message center and see what messages have been sent back and forth between vendors and retailers.
Great. So keeping with the messaging and the notifications, we also have a notifications page where you can set up to receive different notifications via email. So I know we've all been there where we've received an order, but you don't know you have it. So this will allow you to set up a new order email communication. So as soon as an order is processed into Logicbroker, it will send an email communication to your team so that you know it needs to be acted on. We do this for new shipments and new invoicing as well. Any new document, you can receive a notification. We also send notifications if you subscribe for failed orders and shipments, inventory updates, the messaging center, as Jim talked about. You can also receive an email that you have a message within the portal that you need to review. And then other communications, if there's an issue with SFTP or FTP connections, if there's an issue with API connections, you can subscribe to those as well. One of the biggest reports that we have is the failed document report. So when you're going through the day and you go into the portal and you realize, oh my gosh, I have 10 failed documents and I didn't even know about it. This is a great report to subscribe to. You can subscribe to receive it on the hour. So if there's any documents that have come in within the hour of the last notification, you'll receive that within the email. You can receive it in the evening, or you can even receive it during the day. So, or I'm sorry, in the morning. So if you come in and you want to just start by looking at the failed documents from that have come in from the night before, you can kind of get those out of the way for the day. Just keep in mind that everything is user-based. So what I have configured might not necessarily be what Jim has configured. What might not be what you have configured. So you have to keep in mind that if you want your team to start to get these notifications, they're actually going to have to go in and subscribe to them. But it's a really helpful tool, and you can actually run the report on demand as well within this page by clicking the run button. So as I mentioned, the notifications is user-based, and we also allow you to generate additional users as needed. So there's no limit to the amount of users that you can create. You can also limit their permissions. So if you wanted certain users to not be able to create a user or only manage orders or inventory, you can do that right within this Manage Users page. You simply just put their email address in, and we'll send them an email notification just telling them they can go to and create a username and password.
So believe it or not, those were the 10 secrets that have been shared with this audience, and we highly encourage you to share them with your users that are using the portal currently. And we definitely want to open it up for questions if anyone has questions about how the portal works. Also, Blair and I will be available after this for questions, and we also are available at that email address there, support@logicbroker.com. But just to briefly open it up, any questions about the portal, any secrets that we didn't reveal that you think we should have revealed? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we can make this available, definitely.
Definitely, we will send you the deck. If you email us there, we can do it, or just grab us after and we'll get your info.
Yeah, we also have a knowledge base that has a lot of this information included. It's help.logicbroker.com, and that will allow people to kind of see what other things we have in our platform, and if you have any questions, you can let us know as well.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
How great was that? 10 top secrets of the portal. I mean, I'm just so glad that I was able to be included in these secrets. I don't know, I like a good secret. All right, we are getting a little bit of a changing of the guard, so I'm not gonna tap dance, but I want to. Oh, I did it, all right, okay, sorry. You can't be on the stage of Avenue Q and not, embrace your inner theater geek. I was one in high school. I'm very proud of that. So dreams really do come true. This was my dream today. And I'm happy to be up here, and I'm happy to be hanging out with all of you. So I know we're getting mic'd up backstage. I think Ed and Craig will be ready shortly. They have prepared a really, really great presentation. I'm excited. There's going to be a demo. It's very top notch. So I'm looking forward to it. And I don't know if they're quite ready yet. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns from the audience? We're having a good time today? Raise the roof a little bit? No, just me? Okay, that's fine. You got me, awesome.